My name is Tony Majila, and I will be facilitating today's workshop. We are recording this session, and as always, we'll make sure that we will forward the recording as well as the presentation immediately after this workshop. Should you have any questions, feel free to post them on the chat, and I will make a lot of time for Q&A and discussion. So the title of this workshop is Road Mapping with Word Tools to Plan Your Research Journey. As M&D students, it is important to plan your research journey. And for today, we are going to show you some of the tools that you can use in Microsoft Word to help you with planning and make your research journey seamless. So your Microsoft Word, it's your PlayStation, it's your canvas. Almost everything that you are doing in Microsoft Word. And that is why we want to show you some other applications so that you can maximize them and they can assist you in your research. So this is the overview of the presentation. It will be based mostly on the organization, the referencing, as well as the editing functions of this application in Word. And after this workshop, you should be able to be aware of this application, but also have that ability to maximize the use of the application in the word processor for your research. I will touch on making sure that there is consistency and formatting. This is very important, especially when from the start, when you are submitting your chapters to your supervisor, your work should be neat and consistently. And we will touch on some of the styles and other application. And I'll also briefly go to table of contents in case there are some of you who might be struggling with some of this application. It is also important to save and backup your work, and I'll briefly demonstrate this. So these are some of the functions that I want to talk about. The audio functions, dictate. So in case where you are tired of typing, there is a dictate function that you can use to type for you. So it converts your audio into text. And there is also a massive reader where there is a document, it can read it out loud for you. So I will also demonstrate these two functions. And going for research, and I think this one will be important for you, and I'll spend a lot of time on the research ones. We have Keenious. So where you are still conceptualizing your work, your research, you are on Word, there is this function that you can use without even going to Google Scholar or other databases. So while you are in the conceptualizing stage, I found this tool to be very useful, and I will demonstrate how you can use it. I know some of the students, they struggle with the citation and other things, and I will also demonstrate the three functions in Word that you can use that can assist you with citation and referencing. And I believe most of you will find this one very useful because at times you find people, students, leaving out references at the end. But then if you are using these applications in Word, automatically whatever you have cited, it will appear on your reference list. And you can also integrate these add-ins, your Mendeley, your RefWorks, within Microsoft Word. And I believe this will save you a lot of time as an M&D student because time is not something that you have. And after you have written your draft, it is also important to edit, and there are some tools that you can use. In Word, we have the Microsoft Word editor, but then there are some other tools that you can integrate into Word. Your Grammarly, your Quillboard, your Open Writefull. I will also demonstrate the good and the bad side of this, which disadvantage some of you when you are forwarding your work into Turnitin. And at times, supervisors will send you feedback using track and change. You'll see some of you will see there will be a lot of red stuff on your document and comments. And I think it's also important on how we can use this to respond to the feedback from the supervisors. And lastly, I will tap into the visual aids. For those who are interested in creating visuals, your graph and other images, I will touch quickly on that. So I will move now from this PowerPoint and go directly to MS Word. It is also important to edit, and there are some tools that you can use. In Word, we have the Microsoft Word editor, but then there are some other tools that you can integrate into Word. Your Grammarly, your Quillboard, your Open Writefull. I will also demonstrate the good and the bad side of this, which disadvantage some of you when you are forwarding your work into Turnitin. And at times, supervisors will send you feedback using track and change. You'll see some of you will see there will be a lot of red stuff on your document and comments. And I think it's also important on how we can use this to respond to the feedback from the supervisors. And lastly, I will tap into the visual aids. For those who are interested in creating visuals, your graph and other images, I will touch quickly on that. So I will move now from this PowerPoint and go directly to MS Word. So I prepared this text, and this is a text where it has a lot of mistakes. You can see where it has underlined your grammar mistakes there and so on. And this is what some of your work look like before you submit it to your supervisors. So it is important to always clean your work. And as I've indicated, we have a lot of tools that we can use to edit your work. The editor, the first one from Word is the editor. So if you use the editor, it will show you where you can amend the spelling mistakes and so on. And word of advice, always make sure that you set this word into your South African English. This is the English that we use, or UK1. So yeah, make sure that you go and use South African English and make it as a default. You will see here there will be an option, do not check spelling or grammar. We want to check spelling or grammar, so make sure that you leave this one and set the South African English as a default, because we have American English and other dialects of English, but then the South African English or the UK English, I think, is the preferred one. So if you use the editor, you will see it will show you the spelling mistakes it has picked up, and yours is to just go through the options and tick the right one. This is how you can use this. Another option that you can use is Open Grammarly. So Open Grammarly, you can just go to Google and download it. There will be Word plugin that you can download, and it will appear immediately in your Microsoft Word. So with Grammarly, same purpose as the editor. Most students like Grammarly compared to the editor. And as you can see, it has given us a lot of, it has picked up a lot of issues, in terms of correctness, clarity, and yeah. So if you leave it on all issues, you will see the underline, and you can go and click the option that resonate with what you are doing. But then at times, it will reorganize your sentences. So make sure that you avoid that option because Turnitin, I am aware that Turnitin can pick it up. You wouldn't see it on your side, but then from the lecturer side, it can pick it up. So the applications that paraphrases you are reading, just make sure that you avoid and make use of your human intelligence. So you will see there's also this plagiarism option here on Grammarly. So here it is not picking it up. It is not as good as the Turnitin one, but then if you have plagiarized, I believe it can pick some of the things up. So let me just demonstrate that. Let's test it and choose one article in Google Scholar so that you can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. So let's take this abstract the way it is. And okay, or here, same document. Let's wait for Grammarly just to check and pick it up if we have plagiarized. So it is an option that you see now. It will pick some of the things up, though it's not good as Turnitin, but then it will pick this article. You see it's fairly and noisy, and you can see the authors here fairly Noni, yeah. So it does work. It does work. So it is an option that you can play around with and check it. There's also settings. Make sure that you set your settings accordingly. So yeah, just like the editor, it will give you those guidelines. You see here, plagiarism, this one, 57% is it's a bit too much. And we have adjust goal here. It's one of the settings. So you can go into it and adjust it. So when you are writing your draft chapters, obviously your lecture is an aspect in that field. So you can play around these options and change them. And that is how it's going to assist you with the editing and some of the things. Formality for academic writing is always formal. Domain is academic. So make sure that you go to the settings, change your goals, and work around that. Now let's go to another function, which is Open Writefull. So Open Writefull is also like the editor and the Grammarly. So with it, you will see the first option will be edit full mode or proofread. And I will encourage you to use the proofread one. And I'll demonstrate why I'm saying that, because you can see proofread, it works only on the grammar, the punctuation and other things. Whereas the full edit, it can sometimes paraphrase your paragraphs, and we don't want that. We still want your voice to be heard. So let me just demonstrate to show that if it's on proof mode and we tell it to check the whole document, you will see there will be 21 suggestions, and these are just the basic things, which is what we need. But then on the full edit mode, that's where sometimes it can paraphrase some of the things. But then before it does that, it will ask you, and you will have an option. So even if you use the full edit mode, you still have an option to accept or dismiss whatever it suggests. So don't accept. Yeah, it is advisable not to accept everything that is suggesting to you. Make sure that you read and make an informed decision. So you can edit on the paragraph level or the whole document. One thing that also I like about this Writefull, if you go on widgets, you will see there are some options here. There will be paraphrasing tool, and here you can set it for low, medium, and high. And I think I recommend that you set it on low. So if you have a paragraph that perhaps you want to paraphrase for some of the reasons, which I don't promote, but then I have to show you these applications. You can put this paragraph in, maybe you turn it in, percentages was very high, and yeah, you can paraphrase, but then like I said, please, it is advisable to use your human intelligence, because these are the things that you can do with your mind. But you might find this tool to be useful. It will show you where you can change some of other things and so on. And you will see when you go to medium high, it will change drastically. But then this will disadvantage you when you are turning it your work. So again, on widget, title generator. So you might maybe struggling with finding a topic. You might have maybe an abstract. Let's say you are submitting a abstract to a conference and you are struggling with this title. So it can check your abstract and attempt to give you a heading, which you can edit or just copy and paste. So again, on the widgets, one thing that you might find useful as M&D students is the sentence palette. So this is mostly have to do with your academic writing. So when you are doing your introduction paragraph, it will give you some of the options that you can use. So you can just download this app and check on it. So if you are talking about the importance of the topic, the significance, the keywords that you can use, the aim, these are the options that you can adopt and incorporate in your study, the terminology and the terms. So you can play around with these features, but I know these ones may benefit a lot of you, those who are in proposal and they are telling the reader of their chapters. You can use some of this option. And in literature review, if you are talking about the gaps, research gaps, it is give you some hints on how you can start your sentences, the reviews which are positive, negative, neutral, study reviews, if you are talking about one author claiming or arguing other things. So it can really help you and suggest some of the ways that you can use, unlike using according to this author, 1, 2, 3, 4, according, every paragraph start with according. So I think this one can really benefit lot of you. So download the app and just play around with it. Maybe it can assist you. If you are using quotations, this is the approach that you can use. Go into research methods again, the purpose of you using this method, the benefits, participants, analysis. So it will suggest the sentence, this widget, it will suggest sentence for you in all these parts of your writing. Same applies to the results. If you are talking about the results that are significant, non-significant, interesting, or if you want to summarize, it will assist you. And also if you are discussing and analyzing, this is what it will suggest to you. And also conclusion, most of the time, a lot of students will just summarize, but remember we have an abstract that has summarized everything. So conclusion is different to a summary. And yes, this is how it can assist you. Contribution of the study, limitations. So they have tried to include most of the things that you as M&D students can use. And these are just statements, the connectors. If you are focused on cause and effects or the similarities, so it will have you with additional vocab. So this is what I found useful with the Writefull tool and the widgets inside it. We also have Quillbot. Quillbot, I know some of you are using Quillbot. When you are using Quillbot, there are different modes, and I think you can put it on standard. And fluency is also good. So fluency and standard, I think those the options that you can use. So this one is a paraphrasing tool. You can take this text, obviously after you have worked on your spelling mistakes, put it in this box and paraphrase, and it will generate a different wording. Sometimes people paraphrase to the point that it will lose a bit of meaning, or it will not connect with previous paragraphs. So don't over rely on these things, focusing on decreasing your Turnitin percentage, because it will have an impact on the golden thread that you have really worked hard on. So I'm also emphasizing the responsible use of these tools. You can use them, but use them responsibly, so that you are not in trouble plagiarizing or having too much similarity, because it will pick it up even in Turnitin. Some of the students will just go to the article, copy this, put it in here, paraphrase, and put it back into the text. Yes, sometimes you can get away with Turnitin, it can lower it, but then the flow of your writing will not be that good. So it will disadvantage you again. But then, for some, it can benefit you, especially those who are struggling a bit with English. So Quillbot is one of them. It's a paraphrasing tool. Now I want to show you something on the audio ones. Let me just go back. Okay. So we have dictate and immersive reader. Let's start with the immersive. Okay. Yeah, let's start with the dictate. So we know that as M&D students, you are busy, and sometimes it's not always possible to always type and type and type. We have this function here, dictate. You will see under home is dictate. So you can talk. Sometimes you can have ideas. So if you open the dictate, you just speak to your Microsoft Word, to your laptop, and it will convert the audio to text for you. I have seen some of the students who were doing interviews using digital recorder, and they are struggling to transcribe, because if you are using MS Teams, there is an option that you can set and it can transcribe for you. But in the case where you are using digital recorder, yes, this is one of the functions that can assist you. As you can see, it's free, it's cheaper, but it's not 100%. But then I think it can attempt to transcribe 60%, with clarity. So while I am talking, you can see that it is typing, and yeah, you can see it is not 100%, but then over 60% correct. So sometimes you will have ideas, and you won't have maybe your laptop, so you can make an audio recording on your phone and come back to this, or you can open your laptop and just speak to it, and it will type for you. So this is dictate. I'm gonna stop it now. We have immersive reader. So this one is doing the opposite. So if you go to view, okay, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me check where. Yeah, so if you go to view, yes, I was correct. If you go to view, you will see here that we have immersive reader. You can click on it, and I think, yeah, you can click on it, then read aloud. And it should be reading to you. Yeah, so you can see it has attempted to read everything, and it makes sense. It also has settings. You can go to settings and select male or female version of the voice that is coming out, and the reading speed, you can play around it. So immersive reader and the dictator, those are the two functions that you can use. Now I want to now focus on the citations one. Okay, let me go to Keenious. Okay, so let me just delete this one. So with Keenious, you might be starting your project. In my case, say I am mostly doing student support in distance education. So you might be in a phase where you want to review the literature and you really don't know where to start. We have, as an M&D student, you have personal librarian, but then while maybe you are waiting for them to give you the material, you can just go to Word, type area that you want to research, and open the Keenious, and without even going to Google Scholar, it can give you some of the articles that you can check on this field that you want to research on. So you can see student support for distance education material is coming up. So if you open it, it will give you an abstract. And if you are happy and you want to use this, you can get full access. So yeah, I find this tool to be very useful, especially when you are starting to conceptualize some of the things and to understand what you want to write about. And you can see it's even picking up, the expert in this field, Alan Tate, and Rumble. So yeah, it is good. What you will need to do, or rather, you can also work on the settings, on the filters. Year of publication, you can set from which year. As an M&D student, we encourage you to use a recent publication. So you can take material from 2022, 2023, so that when you have completed your manuscript, they are 5 years. Because if you are starting this year and you are choosing something from 2019, by the time you finish, it will be over 5 years. So try to search and use material, 2-3 years, so that when you finish, then you have something for 5 years. So Keenious, a very useful tool. Very useful tool that you can use. I was also writing a program on one of the functions that we are going to have, and I have to do a bit of motivation on this academic writing symposium. And yeah, going to Keenious, I got some of the articles on academic writing, very quickly, that I used to beef up my motivation for us to host this symposium. So Keenious is one of them. I now want to spend a bit of time on these ones, the citations. As M&D student, you are always citing. Let me just open a clean one. So in the past, previously, if you go to this reference tab, you will see that in MS Word, it has this function to manage your sources and citations, but I won't encourage you to use this one. It's just an outdated application, and I'll demonstrate why. So you can set the style, the referencing style here on Word, and everything that you will be doing in this document, it will align it to your reference style. If you go to manage sources, let me copy this one here. So if you go to management sources, you will have to go to new, and here you will have to choose the type of article, whether it's a book chapter, article, report, and so on, and type the name of the author here. If you're not sure, you can edit, put the surname and the first name, and it will arrange it for you. The title of the study, the general name, the year, and the pages. And you will see how it will come up. Your citation will be like this, and your reference at the end, this is how it's gonna look in APA. So you can see that while it is a better option, but I don't like it, because when you are putting the author's name, you can make a lot of mistakes here. And that is why we are doing the library trainings on the reference software, your Mendeley and RefWorks. Okay, but then the principle is the same, because if you have put in all the articles that you are going to use, the sources, then when you are typing here, you can, and you want to make it you want to put in a citation, you can go to insert citation, and all your articles will appear here. You just click the one that you want to use and continue with the text, and then at the end, the bibliography, you can put a reference there, then it will put everything in alphabetical order. But let me just change the fonts here. But there is a simpler way of doing this. So if you have your Mendeley, just a second. So if you have your Mendeley or your RefWorks, you can also download the Microsoft plugin, add-in, and link it with your Word. So you will have your Mendeley on the desktop and on the web, and you can integrate it within Microsoft Word. So same applies to this one. It serves the same purpose, but then with Mendeley, you will save time because now you're not going to type the name and the type of sources. The system will pick it up. So yours is to just put in the citation, and you can also work on the citation settings. If you're using APA or Harvard, you can put it in there. So same applies when you are writing. You will be writing some of the things, and you want to put in a citation. You can insert this citation. If you are writing something again, you want another citation, you can put them in. You can continue and put them in. And after you are done and you want to do a reference list, you can go again and generate this bibliography, and you will see it will do everything in alphabetical order, in the reference technique, the style that you have set. So I think as an M&D student, the Mendeley and the RefWorks is much better compared to the Word one, because you can avoid a lot of mistake, but then it will save you a lot of time. And in the case where you have made some of mistakes, you can go back again, set your settings, and it will give you the reference list in the technique that you have chosen. So I encourage you to attend the library trainings on references so that you can understand how this software works and how you can integrate them in MS Word. Okay, while we are here, let me go back. While we are here, because I said I will show some of you the style, the fonts, and table of contents. So let me just briefly go through that. So it might happen that sometimes some of you, they might not know how to change the fonts and everything. So check with a supervisor and see the fonts that you have to use. You can set them up in here, whether it's 12 or Roman, even with the paragraphs, the spacing. Usually they prefer 1.5. Check with the supervisor, and you can also align your paragraph. So these are the options that you can play around with. You will see when you are changing the fonts, it will increase and decrease them, as well as the themes. So make sure that you are clear on this technical aspect. Just confirm them with your supervisor. And going to creating table of contents, it might happen that sometimes, okay, this first paragraph or first page is your introduction. So it can be your introduction, or it can be introduction. Maybe let's say this is chapter 1. It's introduction. Then you might also have introduction here. Introduction. You might have problem statement. You might have significance of the study or objectives. So what you can do, you can highlight the main heading and go to styles. Then this can be your heading 1. And this can be your subheading. So under styles, you go to heading 2, and this can be 1.1. This can be 1.2. I'm just gonna make up to 1.3. And then this one, subheading 2, 1.3. Okay. And remember, make sure that always you apply the font and the theme. And this can be in blue, so make sure that you put it in black. So if you have this, because this is the main heading, so it will take heading 1. And this other one's 1.1, it will be heading number 2. So if you have 1.3.1, say this is 1.3.1, then it can take subheading 3. So it's 1.3.1. Then after you have done this exercise, you can go to, okay, just hold on. Yeah. So after you have worked on this, you can go to your references. Then there will be table of contents. You can just choose automatic table, and you will see it will pick up, this heading and put them nicely accordingly. We know that is the work of the editor. Yeah, but this is something that you can do by yourself. As well as page numbers, you can go to insert, insert and page numbers. So this is how you can do some of the things. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight this one. So these things, just go in, wait and play around them if you're not familiar with them. And with the graphs and other things, you can go to insert, and there'll be tables. So if you want to insert a table, you can just direct it, tell it how many tables, the rows and columns, or you can go to this option and insert the number of columns and rows that you want. These are some of the styles that you can use. So yeah, it is a matter of you going in and playing around with some of the things. Same applies to your graphs. You might have graphs. So you can go in, choose any type of graph. The Excel will open up where you can play around with this width that are below, and also the figures. And yeah, you will see they will change accordingly and so on. So yeah, these are things that I wanted to show you, especially the citations ones and the research one. And okay, before I end the presentation, so in terms of collaboration, as an M&D student, your supervisors will mostly communicate with you using these track changes. So you will send your document to your supervisor, and what they will do, let me just go to review. So what they will do, they will then use track and changes so that you can see everything that they were working on. So if I run this document on the editor, you will see it will pick up the spelling mistakes, but then as a student, you will see the changes that I'm making on your document. You will see these changes. So sometimes your documents will come back as this, and this is feedback. This is feedback. So from your side, if your lecturer has done this, okay, let me Yeah. So your lecturer would have done this. Though, so on your side, what you need to do when you receive a document like this, sometimes you will even see they will make some comments. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So you will see this colors here, what they have done, but then also you can see the comments. And on your side, what you need to do, you can go to this pane here, accept. You can, if you are if you are agreeing with this suggestion, then you can accept. You can accept it. If you are not agreeing with it, you can reject it. You can reject and leave it like that. But then obviously you have to communicate with the supervisor and give them the reason behind your decision to reject their suggestion. So yeah, make sure that you have a solid argument so that there won't be problems between you and supervisor. So yeah, that is one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, the track and change. And so in closing, I believe that it is important as an M&D student to regularly save and back up your work. This is very important. This is the save button. And since all of you are connected to Office 365, you can turn this on. Turn this on so that it can automatically save in your OneDrive. This can help you. You will not lose any of your work. So everything that you are doing, you will see it will automatically save, so that is one option that you can use. We had a workshop on my UNISA, and we connected you with relevant people in ICT that can help you with these functions of Office 365. So make sure that you use them. They will benefit you. There are many times where students lost their jobs, and yeah, it will be frustrating. So make sure that you save your work as and when you are working. You might also have alternative backup, or you can also put them in your emails, anything to back up your work. We talked about customizing the application settings to suit your need and your context. And you are overemphasizing again that, yes, you can use these tools. And as UNISA, we are giving you some of the license to these tools, but don't over rely on these apps. Make sure that you are using them responsibly, but don't over rely on them. Make sure that you use your human intelligence. Because they can impact, on your confidence, the creativity throughout your research journey. When you are using your mind, you will become confident, and you will see that your academic writing it will improve. And you should know when to trust the app and make your own judgment. So, like in those editing ones, they will suggest a lot of things to you, but don't just accept anything that they are suggesting to you. So it is important to make your own judgment on that. And then at all times, make sure that you maintain this academic integrity. Though we don't have specific policy on the use of AI, but then we have the policies on academic integrity. And I think some of the things that I've addressed, they do respond to that policy. There are, however, some guidelines on AI, and I believe very soon we will have solid policies on AI. So that doesn't mean that you have to abuse these apps. Yeah, make sure that you maintain this integrity at all times. And this is our mailbox. This is the link to the research training workshops that we are hosting. And I thank you. So I think now I will just move to check if there are any questions